Welcome back for part 2 of our series, Finals Week is Coming. You know, whether or not you do good on your math final, your English final, your social studies final, whatever it might be, your science final, you can take that class again, it's okay. But my friend, when we get to the end of our lives and we stand before God, we only have one opportunity. So we've got to make sure that we prepare ourselves now for what's coming in the future. We've been looking at 1 Peter chapter 4, verse number 12. Peter told the saints, he said, "Don't think it strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you." He said, they come to everybody. God allows these tests and these trials to come in everybody's life. Testing is inevitable, it's continual, it's necessary, it's productive, it's also impactful, it puts a little pressure on us, and it's crafted, it's designed by God. God sends the right tests at the right time to be able to mold us and to shape us into the individual that He wants us to be. And if we don't pass, God just circles us back around and He brings us back to that same place. We look at the Old Testament, we see the children of Israel. God brought them out of Egypt, across the Red Sea on dry ground. God took them, provided for them every day manna in the wilderness, gave them water when they didn't have any water, brought them to the Jordan River to go into the Promised Land. They wouldn't believe Him. They failed the test. So what did God do? God sent them back into the wilderness, and they circled for about 39 more years. And then He brought them back to that same place. It was the next generation's turn. And they passed the test that time. They believed God. They conquered the Promised Land. They received the inheritance that God had given them because they passed the test the next time. God's going to test us. God's going to try us. God's going to allow us to go through some things because God wants us to grow and to learn. He wants us to be impacted, and He wants us to be fruitful, to be productive. 1 Peter 4, verse 14, it says, "If you be reproached for the name of Christ, happy are ye, for the Spirit of glory and of God resteth upon you. On their part, He is evil spoken of, but on your part, He is glorified." He said, if you go through these tests and these trials, the Spirit of God will rest on you. And you'll have a different understanding of what's going on. Other people say, this is terrible, this isn't important, but you'll understand this is necessary, and this is God's plan. It's important that we follow God's plan and that we do things God's way. Because God's going to help us to be successful through the test and the trials, because He wants us to hear Him say, "Well done, thou good and faithful servant." So when a test comes, a trial comes, don't be a whiner, be a winner. Don't be a complainer, but understand that God's in control and He's going to help you. And let Him take you through the test. Learn the lesson that God wants you to learn. Because you don't want to flunk that last final. Because if you do, it's an eternity without God. And that's not where any of us want to spend. God bless you. Share these with others. We hope you join us for tomorrow's Daily Devotional.